Okay, guys, I'm here today with Pedro Sauer. Huge honor for me. Guys, Pedro is one of the most legendary Jiu-Jitsu coaches. He got his black belt in 1985 from Rickson Gracie and Hélio Gracie, from both of them, right, Pedro?
Yes, sir.
And he's one of the first Brazilians to move to American through Jiu-Jitsu. And his coral belt, he has made over 200 Jiu-Jitsu black belts, has a lot of affiliates in US. In 2001, he was chosen by one ADCC pool as the best Jiu-Jitsu instructor in the world. So I'm super excited to be here with you, Pedro. And I think the fact as well that you are small and light and you have been doing Jiu-Jitsu with the old school for such a long time. And you were telling like how you developed this very like defensive, but also like you would protect yourself really well and know when to attack and this and that. So, and then we made an entire course about that, guys, about escapes for, especially for the smaller practitioners. But can you tell us a little more, Pedro?
Well, yeah, the idea is this. When I started training Jiu-Jitsu, I was very small, very fragile, I was young, and I was 14 years old. And I arrived in the academy and I had to face Grandmaster Hélio Gracie and all his sons pretty much every night. So I used to get spanked every night, many times.
Yeah.
There was I think I used to go to class, and I remember after getting pretty good, I was already getting good. The academy was on an 18th floor storage height. Every time I pressed the button,
18th floor.
Yeah, 18th floor.
That's awesome.
So every time I pressed the 18th floor, it was the average how much time I'm going to be tapped.
How
many times I'm going to get tapped all the time. So what happened for me, I believe that I learned Jiu-Jitsu by getting tapped over and over and over and over. And because I have a good personality, I was never aggressive, I was never mean, I never had the physicality to kind of to compete, to be very, by the way, I compete in every belt and I advise everybody to do too. But the idea was like, I have to learn Jiu-Jitsu for somehow, I have to kind of discover. And one thing that I noticed right off the bat that after a year and a half, I knew every move from every single one. I knew Rickson Gracie's favorite move, Hall's Gracie, Hoyton Gracie, Helson Gracie, the favorite moves, and they used to tap me left and right. I didn't know how to stop, but I knew it was coming.
You knew it was coming. Yeah.
I was recognized it. So that was my first candidate. I said, oh, I started to understand a little bit about Jiu-Jitsu. And understand about Jiu-Jitsu was a concept that I never thought too much about that. But I was saying that we all do Jiu-Jitsu because we love Jiu-Jitsu. Is such an incredible art that get to us to the core, to our soul. Everybody who does Jiu-Jitsu, we have incredible benefits. And when you start to understand Jiu-Jitsu, we can transform all the knowledge we get on the mat and you transform to a social life. You bring to a society.
Right.
So you negotiate things, everything. You know, I'm a father of 7 kids, 6
girls.
girls.
Yeah.
Without Jiu-Jitsu,
it's
hard.
And I think one thing you were telling me that all your family is from German, the grandfathers and this and that. So, and they are all about being efficient, right?
Yeah.
So I think you might have brought that from your family to your Jiu-Jitsu too, like how to be the most efficient possible because you were the lightest on the gym. So
exactly. And Hélio was a guy who helped me tremendously.
And having Hélio, right?
Yeah,
like,
who
was also like very small and
he was unbelievable on his concept. He was unbelievable with the setup. And somebody who spent 80 years of his life on the mat, putting a gi for 80 years.
Yeah.
It's like
I agree. Yeah, you were telling me that the last time you rode with him, he was 95 years old, right?
92 when we
92,
rolled.
okay.
Yeah, 92. And he tried to kick my butt, like I literally tried to kick my butt.
Oh yeah, no, that's awesome. Yeah.
I was in the bottom position. He was trying to catch me, work on the choke, and I was defending. Because no, I want to defend. I want to show Marcelo that I knew what to do. Just pretty soon I felt like his breathing get a little bit more. It's like breathing a little bit more hard. So I let his hand slide on my neck and I tap. Yeah. When I tap, he looked at me and said, "Let me have," and he called me bad names, and he wants to win flat out. He wants to win clean.
That's awesome. Oh, Pedro, and the other thing that caught my attention as well was like before Jiu-Jitsu, you used to work in the stock market, right? And then how was that transition like to?
Well, stock market was a very hard business. It's a very mentally, you get very distressful. It's pretty, you get completely stressful when you do stock market. especially when you do the stock market with commodities, auctions, and future. And that was my specialty at the time. So in the 80s, that's what I did to do this. From 1978 until 1990, I worked in stock market the whole entire time. And every single day after the stock market, I used to go to the academy. That was side by side.
Got it.
So I got a chance to train about 6 hours every day.
Got it.
Because the early Grandmaster School, you have your own gi. You just hang the gi there.
I got it.
I still have my gi from Grandmaster Early School. It's made by sailboat material.
That's awesome.
Yep. It didn't have no materials. It was handmade gis.
That's amazing.
And so we used to just go there and just train pretty much during the day. We don't train, you hang your gi.
Yep.
And you go back, come back again. You know that's your gi.
That's awesome.
It was a great time.
Yeah, but nowadays I'm fascinated about like trying to understand what makes someone a great instructor. So I was competing all my life, and I kind of got to understand what makes someone a great athlete. And nowadays I'm fascinated about like what makes someone a great instructor. So all your history, I see that it's probably what made you, because you came from Rickson and Hélio. You were probably very smart. You used to work in the stock market and that. You have your family that's from Germany, so putting all of this together, then you were. I remember like before I moved to America, I was doing some research like about jiu-jitsu schools and that. Then I would say like Pedro Sauer, Pedro Sauer, Pedro Sauer, Pedro Sauer, Pedro Sauer, Pedro Sauer, Pedro Sauer. I was like, he might be like the best jiu-jitsu instructor in this thing here.
No, I'm a hard worker. That's always good ethics.
No, I got it. No, that's amazing.
What I did, Bernardo, I got our Grandmaster Hélio Gracie's philosophy, his mentality, our strategy, and I combined with education that I got at home. What my mom was a very disciplinary lady. When I was a kid, I was not this nice guy that, I was a pretty wild kid. Came from Rio de Janeiro, walking the streets, so I was a pretty wild kid as a kid. And I felt the difference when I started doing Jiu-Jitsu. I can feel myself being more calm. I was more tolerant. I started being more respectful. I started playing things a little bit more ahead. I never got in panic. Jiu-Jitsu completely changed my life. And I believe that's the number one benefit that we all want to get from Jiu-Jitsu is the social skills that you can bring from Jiu-Jitsu to your social life.
I agree. No, I fully agree, and the 100%. I think that's probably the best benefit that we can all take from Jiu-Jitsu. But guys, we just shot an entire instructional course here with Pedro, all about his escapes, which everybody says that is one of the best escapes in Jiu-Jitsu ever because he learned right from the source. And I'm excited to learn something here, Pedro.
Everything that all the escapes, everything that I do, because I'm still, every time that I come to the mat, and I don't care who it is on the mat, it doesn't matter who's the person on the mat, I always come to the mat with a white belt mentality.
Got it.
So even though after 50 years on the mat, I put my gi on, I come to the mat, anybody who brings any question, any problem, any move, we're gonna start like as a brand new white belt, and you're gonna build from there. And that way you understand every little step of the process. Instead just show all my favorite moves. That way they're gonna say, hey man, Pedro Sauer knows a lot of stuff, but I cannot do it.
I got it.
It's hard for me to do it.
I got it. So you focus more on trying to understanding what's coming than actually the moves, the specific move.
Yep.
That's awesome.
And the most important, Bernardo, is for us to understand every move that we're capable to do, every move that my body is going to be able to do. And what's going to make this even more important is when I start to understand what my training partners can do. When I can start to understand all your moves that you can do towards me, I'm only going to fight when I need it.
I got it.
I'm not going to be wasting my time pushing, pull, doing things here, doing things there, if I feel that you have a good solid position. That's the time I'm going to hold my horse. I'm going to try to get myself in a comfortable spot. What you have to do the move first. It's like the same. We're going to Las Vegas. We're playing poker. We both have our cards here, but somehow I got a little trick, and I let you do this. You show me your cards a little bit. That way I can see, hey, what can I do? What can I do?
Makes sense.
It's just a way. And when you take this for longevity, that's the recipe. If you want to grow old on the mat, that's the recipe.
Focus on escapes.
Focus on escapes, focus on strategy, focus in understanding Jiu-Jitsu, not just for yourself, but whatever somebody else can bring to you. That way, you always using self-defense. Self-defense, that Rickson Gracie, that a lot of old timers, they talk about self-defense. I call self-defense self-protection.
Good.
Because if we on the mat and I don't know how to protect my joints, I cannot trust you to protect my joints.
I agree.
You're the one who tried to split my joints apart, right?
I agree.
So I need to have I'm so proprietary responsible to control all the possibilities that you can bring to the game.
I agree.
And instead resist, because that's something that a lot of jiu-jitsu practitioners, we do a lot of resistance. Resistance is the worst enemy, because after resistance comes the injuries.
That makes sense. I agree.
And we get the habit to resist as a young child.
Yeah, and it's much harder to break something that's flexible and
when you
that makes a lot of sense to me. And this is something that I'm 33, but I'm getting older and a lot of miles too. So I'm always thinking like, how can I do jiu-jitsu in order to consider that I might live until 100 years old? I want to be able to move myself.
You can do it. You can do it. It's out here. It's out here. The more you put yourself on the mat, the more you understand all the other game, and the more playful you are, the more jiu-jitsu you're gonna see it.
Got it. No.
The less playful, the less you're gonna see it.
That's amazing. But Pedro, what could be one example for you to teach me about this concept?
Let's think about this. If you're in crossbody, in the top position, I'm in the bottom position. So you have control, and the guy in the bottom basically has no control. What I'm trying to do is defend.
Yeah.
Or what the next move is gonna do. So now you go ahead and you crossbody me, and you're gonna tell me if you feel any kind of control. You want
crossbody, you mean?
Yeah, you crossbody me, and you're gonna tell me if I'm controlling.
Side control.
Yep, side control here. So from this position here, do I feel that I'm controlling? Do I have any kind of control in you right here?
I'm on top.
You're on top, but you feel that I'm controlling you anyhow?
You know, I'm controlling you, right?
You control 100%, right?
Yeah.
Now tell me if anything changed now.
I don't have much to do right now. That makes sense. I can grab this arm. Yeah, and it feels like really stick. What are you doing? That's amazing.
That's called invisible jiu-jitsu. So think about this. From this position here, if I'm like this, you can escape this arm anytime you want, right?
Yep.
Go ahead and escape there. Anytime. Yep, anytime. Now escape arm again.
That's true.
So now the arm is a little bit under control.
Yeah.
This elbow here, if I put my hand on you over here, Bernardo, anytime I put my hand on you, you can still walking around, you can still moving, you can still coming forward. Now think about this.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah.
And it's so much easier to
And
escape.
it is invisible. Because I can see that who is watching probably is not understanding what I'm feeling. That's amazing.
You can feel that, you know?
So what do you do, brother?
So let's break this down here. So from here, can you tell this arm how much control you have? You have like you can have upper body control, and you lift this a little bit freedom. But look what happened here when I drop my elbow down and I connect my elbow to my leg.
That's amazing. That it feels like everything feels like so stick.
And I'm 150 pounds.
Yeah, that feels like you're 250 pounds now, you know, like.
Because what I learned here, Bernardo, that if we understand how to bring the power from the ground, everything comes to the ground, just navigate to our bodies can go across.
Yep.
And I can bring to my shoulder, I can bring to my elbow, I can bring to my head.
Yep.
So instead of being here on the bottom and kind of be helpless, the idea for us is to understand how to cross the bones. So I'm trying to cross bones on you. I try to control your arms, and I use just my legs slowly to start creating this space here.
Okay, so you almost like you stay a little sided. If I try, can I try to do that? So, it's like a little sided.
So if I'm over here, control like this, I can put a lot of pressure here to control.
Yeah.
All right. See how I'm going with you?
What's that?
No, still going. Go ahead. You see how I'm going with you?
Yes.
Now do this. Put this arm here on top of my arm.
Yeah.
And grab your leg right down there on the bottom. Now bring your elbow down a little bit. Very low. Now notice that when you start to move, you just move this part here and go underneath right there. Yeah, right there. Move it under. Right there. Now look how much space you create here.
And then you just bring the knee.
You can bring the knee inside now.
I got it.
So
it's amazing.
Basically, what you have to do is just move the bottom part out.
I got it.
So
and this hand, what's the reason to stretch this arm?
It's to open.
I got it.
You open my arm there. So if I'm over here, and you grab over there, you open.
That's amazing. Oh, and now I understood. Okay, because when I move my hip, my move, when I move my hip,
Right
your
there.
elbow go. That's I never seen that in my life.
Oh, so now I'm stuck in and look down by here.
And now there's the space here to break.
The stuff comes.
And if I didn't have my hand on my leg,
Mm-hmm.
my body is kind of like slides here.
Yep. And look how much control I have right now. See, right now we open.
That's amazing.
You see that? So when you start to
That's,
use this, you
yeah,
can.
I can't wait to get someone on my side controls to test that. That's amazing. No, I really like it.
And you notice you can use in your legs to do that.
I really like it.
The most important for us is to make sure that our upper body is not doing 100% the work,
Got it.
but half.
Oh, Pedro, so what do you do is pretty much like what you kind of show me here right now, but for every position, from mount, from back attack, from side control, from knee on belly, but it's all based on those principles
Yep.
to find this little edge that nobody sees.
Yep. Little details, those are going to make a huge difference. I got this from Helio first, and I felt Helio from 60 down to 90. So I felt his age coming down, but I didn't feel his technique doesn't fall down like that. He kept the technique like that.
Oh yeah.
And everything he was doing, he was like, man, if you understand how to use jacks, you can move anything. And I never understood the jacks very much because I was young and push and pull, a tough kid. But later when I saw Helio getting older and I saw his technique maintaining, well, he was adding jacks.
Got it.
The jack is the most important part for all of us, is to understand how to use a jack.
Got it.
Every single person who came to Jiu-Jitsu, they try to lift a car like this. A guy who never did Jiu-Jitsu, he's going to grab a bumper of a car and he's going to do this.
Yep.
When the guy's a good black belt Jiu-Jitsu stuff guy, he lifts the car like that.
I got
Better
it.
muscles.
I got it.
When you start to understand Jiu-Jitsu, you lift the car with a jack.
I got it.
So you don't
I
have
got
to
it.
muscle
You
anymore.
don't use the
You
muscle.
just put
I
the
got
little
it.
anchors, put a little
No,
anchor
that's
here,
amazing.
okay, now what are you going to do?
No, that's amazing.
And that's when I talk about.
No, and I love when I feel, because many times you hear about like how to do this, how to do, but I felt here like you.
And I'm a little guy, I'm
Yeah.
a small guy, but not that I'm going to be muscle myself out of there, but I can find myself on the edge. So what I'm doing, I'm moving my body.
So all you do is creating these edges. You
That's
find
it.
it. That's amazing. Wow.
Because if you let it flat, it's
Got
like, now you have to do everything from zero.
Got it.
When you create this little angle here, you don't have to start from zero. You already start from halfway.
I got it.
And this stuff here, the guy in the top now, he's holding a body like this.
Yep.
Instead of hold a body like that.
Got it. No, I really, really enjoyed it, Pedro. That was
It's a
awesome.
little trick. Mount position, the same thing. Every mechanic is the same thing. You got a little things like this. The key about Jiu-Jitsu is to be relaxed. You have to flow. You have to understand. And the idea is to understand everything that you can do and understand everything that your training partner can bring.
I got it.
When you know that,
Guys, we just showed this entire structure here, Pedro, all about this type of finding those edges to create escapes from every bar or position. And I'm super excited about it, and I just felt it here. It was amazing. Like this 150 pounds guy was feeling like 250 pounds. And thanks so much, Pedro.
anytime. My pleasure. My pleasure.
And it's gonna be at BJJFanatics.com, guys. So maybe by the time you're watching, it's already there.
Please help me out to grow my YouTube channel. Just click subscribe. And to watch more videos, just click under see more videos. I hope you enjoyed.
BJJFanatics.com. Use the promo code YouTubeFaria to get 10% off any instructional video. Improve your jiu-jitsu faster.